I want to introduce you to a molecule that almost nobody outside a biology lab has heard of. It's a type of fat, and it lives in a single, very specific place inside your body. And it might be one of the most important molecules you have. It's called cardiolipin. By the end of this video you will understand why it matters, why it's unusually vulnerable, and what genuinely protects it. And I am also going to correct a piece of fear-based nonsense that's circulating about it right now. Let's start with what it is. Cardiolipin was first isolated from beef heart in the 1940s, which is where its name comes from. And it's structurally unusual. Most fats in your cells have 2 fatty acid tails. Cardiolipin has 4. That odd shape gives it special properties, and it explains why your body puts it in one place and almost nowhere else. Cardiolipin is found in the inner membrane of your mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside nearly every cell. Now, why put such a strange molecule there? Because the inner mitochondrial membrane is where your cells actually generate energy. It's where the electron transport chain sits, that assembly line of protein complexes we have talked about before, passing electrons down the line to produce ATP, your cellular energy currency. And that assembly line doesn't just float around loosely. It needs structure. Cardiolipin provides it. It shapes the folds of the inner membrane, and it physically binds to and stabilizes the respiratory chain machinery, holding those complexes in the right position and the right relationship to each other so that energy production runs efficiently. Researchers describe it as required for optimal mitochondrial respiration. It's the scaffolding of your cellular engine. Here's where it gets genuinely poignant, biologically speaking. Cardiolipin is fragile. It's built largely from polyunsaturated fatty acids, and polyunsaturated fats are chemically vulnerable to oxidative damage. Worse, cardiolipin is located right next to the site where your mitochondria produce reactive oxygen species as a normal byproduct of making energy. So the most structurally critical lipid in your power plant is sitting directly in the line of fire. In fact, it's the first mitochondrial lipid to be oxidized when things go wrong. And when cardiolipin is damaged, the consequences ripple outward. The membrane loses integrity. The connections between cardiolipin and the proteins it supports weaken, and electron transport becomes less efficient. A protein called cytochrome C, which normally sits anchored to cardiolipin, can detach. In a healthy cell, this whole system also serves as quality control, flagging badly damaged mitochondria for recycling. But when the damage becomes chronic, energy production suffers. Now, what about aging? Research shows that cardiolipin levels decline as we get older, and that decline correlates with a drop in mitochondrial function and with loss of muscle mass. That connects directly to something we covered recently, age-related muscle loss. Cardiolipin depletion has been linked to impaired bioenergetics and muscle atrophy. So this obscure little molecule sits close to the center of the story of how our cells age. I want to be careful and honest here, because this is exactly the kind of topic that gets abused. Most of what we know about cardiolipin comes from laboratory work, animal studies, and association studies in humans. It is a genuinely important and active area of research. But there's no human trial showing that any over-the-counter supplement rebuilds your cardiolipin. Anyone who tells you otherwise has gotten ahead of the evidence. And that brings me to something I want to address head-on. There's content circulating right now claiming that if your cardiolipin is damaged, your cellular engines are, quote, blacked out, and that walking or exercising is therefore pointless, and that every calorie you eat gets stored as belly fat. That's not true. It's not how metabolism works. And it's a genuinely harmful message. If you are walking 10,000 steps a day, you are doing something real and valuable for your body. Exercise is, in fact, one of the best things you can do here, because when your body builds new mitochondria, it builds them with fresh, undamaged membranes. Please don't let anyone talk you out of moving. So what genuinely supports this system? The list is unglamorous and reliable. Regular exercise, for the reason I just gave. Going easy on alcohol, because alcohol metabolism drives up oxidative stress. Not smoking, for the same reason. Eating a diet rich in colorful plants, which supplies antioxidants and the raw materials for building healthy membranes. And protecting your sleep, which is when a lot of cellular maintenance happens. Finally, where does a supplement like Mitochondrial fit? Honestly, and modestly. There's a real and interesting overlap here. CoQ10 lives in the inner mitochondrial membrane, the very same neighborhood as cardiolipin, and it acts as an antioxidant right at the site where the damaging molecules are produced. That's a genuine mechanism, and it's why protecting the inner membrane is part of how CoQ10 is described. But I'm going to hold the line. That protection has been studied mostly in laboratory settings. There is no human evidence that taking CoQ10 preserves or restores your cardiolipin, And it absolutely does not burn fat. Mitochondrial also contains PQQ, which has been researched for supporting the building of new mitochondria. That is the honest claim, and it is the only one I will make. Protect the membrane, and the energy follows. Check the link in the description below to learn more about supporting your cellular energy with mitochondria. And if you appreciate getting real cellular science without the fear-mongering, hit subscribe. Every week we break down the actual science of healthy energy in plain language you can use. We post every morning. I want to be fully transparent with you. The link in the description below is an affiliate link. I might earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. I only share what I genuinely think is helpful. This video is for educational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. Always consult a qualified healthcare professional before making changes to your diet or lifestyle.